Om Shuklam Vardharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturбhujam Prasannavadaram Dhyajet Sarvaghnopashantaye Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we'll be starting the Artha Shastram from today. So we'll start with the Mangalacharanam done by Chanakya, that is Om Namah Shukra Brihaspatibhyam. So from today onwards, with all these three Mangala shlokas, we will even have this Om Namah Shukra Brihaspatibhyam. So I wish to continue this mainly with the Vyakhyana called Shri Mula by Shri Ganapati Shastri, because it is he covered all the parts of Artha Shastra. And wherever I feel important discussions are done in other commentaries, I wish to even cover them accordingly from time to time. So Vignesham Devatam Vacham Pranipatya Gurunapi Vyakhyanamarthashastrasya Kautiliyasya Kurmahe. So Ganapati Shastri ji is doing this and Namah Shukra Brihaspatibhyam is the Mangalacharanam done by Chanakya. So Shukracharya and Brihaspati, these both we actually covered that in the previous sessions about the parampara of Artha Shastra, where Brihaspati is also there and Shukracharya is also there. And in the commentary, even Ganapati Shastri ji also does this Mangalacharana. So we have this tradition of doing Mangalacharana in the Astika Granthas, mainly this tradition, parampara is there. So Mangalacharana, in Mangalacharana, normally you do your namaskaram to your Ishtadevata, at times Kuladevata, your gurus, Vidya gurus, your parents, whomever you feel, to do namaskaram, you remember all of them. And in Mangalacharana, normally the Anubandha Chatushtaya is also at times given. The Pratignya, why this work is being done, for whom it is being done, who are the target audience for this work, and etc. are also proposed, or they are all done there. So Vignesham Devatam Vacham Devatam Vignesham Pranipatya. So Vagdevata, that is the Devata regarding to the studies, is Vignesha also. So Ganapati Shastri ji is doing pranam to Vignesha, and Guru Napi, his Vidya Gurus. Vyakhyanam Artha Shastrasya Kautiliyasya Kurmahe. So he is doing this Pratignya. That is, what is he going to do? He is going to do a commentary upon the Artha Shastra written by Kautilya. By this we understand Kautiliyasya Artha Shastrasya. There are many other Artha Shastras also, but I am now doing this commentary of this Artha Shastra, which is written by Kautilya. Kurmahe. So then, Atha Nikhila Vidya Vichakshanaha Swabuddhi Samarthyapahruta Nandarajya Simhasanaropananuggrihita Chandraguptaha Kautilya Chanakyadi Paryaya Padavachyaha Tatra Bhavan Vishnuguptacharyaha Trivarga Sampatti Hetubhuta Artharjana Upayopadesha Pradhanam Arthashastra Maripsuhu Purvacharya Pramana Lakshanam Purvacharya Pranama Pramana Lakshanam Mangalacharanam Acharati Om Namah Shukra Brihaspatibhyam iti. So it's all full of compound words. So Ganapati Shastri ji is telling that Nikhila Vidya Vichakshanaha. So these are all the adjectives for Kautilya, Chanakya. So Nikhila Vidya Vichakshanaha, who is very well versed in all the kinds of Vidyas, and who is a person Swabuddhi Samarthyapahritanandarajya Simhasanaropananu Anugrihita Chandraguptaha. So with his buddhi, that is with his intelligence, with his effort, Samarthyat Apahrita Nandarajya Simhasanaha. So the dethroning of Nandarajas has been done, and not only that, after that Nandarajya Simhasana Aropa Anugrihita Chandragupta. Then he again made sure that Chandragupta being the king, and Kautilya Chanakyadi Paryaya Padavachyaha, who has the words, the names like Kautilya and Chanakya. Tatra Bhavan, who is he? He is Vishnuguptacharya. So the real name of or the name given by the parents to Chanakya is Vishnugupta, and he's having other names like Kautilya and Chanakya. So this Chanakya or Vishnugupta Acharya is writing this. He's starting writing this Artha Shastra, for which what is the prayojana or the objective of Artha Shastra is Trivarga Sampatti Hetu Bhutaha. Hetu Bhuta Artharjanopaya Upadesha Pradhanam. So here you find all the what is the main, what is the Vishaya, what is the Prayojanam of this work. Artha Shastra is Trivarga Sampatti. Trivarga Sampatti means Dharma, Artha and Kama. So this is very much important. Normally, we think that the knowledge sources in Bharata are very much towards moksha. So here we find a very very clear-cut objective of Arthashastra is not moksha, but the Trivarga, Dharma, Artha and Kama. And not only that, Artha Arjana Upayaha. Even this is one of the means for Artharjana, that is accumulating of wealth. What is it? So this is the main pradhanam artham, upadesha pradhana. So this is the main purpose of Arthashastra, that is Trivarga Sampatti and Artharjanam. So in order to start his work, Arthashastram Aripsuhu, Purvacharya Pramana Lakshanam Mangalacharanam. So what is he doing? He is doing a Mangalacharana, and not only that, with this Mangalacharana, this itself will be the pramana or the proof that there are Purvacharyas of Arthashastra. So he can actually do like Ganapati Shastri ji did Vignesham Devatam Vacham. So he can actually do the Mangalacharana even while doing his namaskarams to his Ishtadevata and gurus and etc. But he didn't do that. He chose to do namaskara for Shukra Acharya and Brihaspati because he wanted. So there are two purposes of doing this kind of. One is doing Mangalacharana. The other thing is to show that there are Purvacharyas of Arthashastra. Purvacharya Pramana Lakshanam. So this is a Mangalacharanam which is again this itself will become a proof for Purvacharyas of Arthashastra. So there is now Om Namah Shukra Brihaspatibhyam iti. Om iti Mangalikaha Shabdaha. So why Omkara? Omkaraschatha Shabdascha Dvavetau Brahmanah Pura Kantham Bhitva Viryato Tasman Mangalika Bhubhau. So this is the Prasiddha Shloka, that is Omkara and Atha Shabda. If you see Athato Dharma Jignasa, Athato Brahma Jignasa. So Athato Dharma Jignasa is the first sutra for the Purva Mimamsa, and Athato Brahma Jignasa is the first sutra for the Uttara Mimamsa. So Atha Shabda is considered to be Mangalacharana, Mangalika. That is, it is very auspicious. Not only Atha Shabda, even Omkara also. So here we have to see that Omkara is used in the as it is a Mangalika, that is an auspicious Mangaladini, Mangala Madhyani, Mangalantani cha Kavyani Prathante. So this is one another Sampradaya where we want auspicious starting and auspicious in even being auspicious even in the middle and even in the end also. That is why we end with Om Tat Sat and we start with something with Om. Om Tat Sat is also, again, it has another very deeper meaning to it. If we go through, I suppose in Bhagavad Gita we have this shloka, why it is Om Tat Sat. So these three words actually, they again depict the Parabrahma. So there are many multiple layers to using Om Tat Sat also in the end, because this all has to again at the end lead to the self experience, that is Parabrahma Anubhuti, which is what the main purpose of any quest. Where does the whole any quest end is in the higher level, that is to experience one own self, that is the Parabrahma Swarupa. So that is why we use Om Tat Sat in the end. And the Namaha, Shukra Brihaspatibhyam Namaha is again Namaskara, Pranamaha, Astu iti Adhyaharaha. So it is an incomplete sentence. Om Namah Shukra Brihaspatibhyam. So actually it is Shukra Brihaspatibhyam Namaha Astu. That is, Astu is again a Kriyapada or a verbal this thing. So that has to be, Adhyahara has to be done. Adhyahara means what you call bringing upon the word which is needed, which is not there in the sentence. That is adhyahara. So Shukra Brihaspatibhyam. Shukraha Asuraguruhu, Brihaspatihi Devaguruhu Tabhyam. So I suppose we covered this. Whether it is the Shukracharya or whether it is the Devata Brahma or Devata Acharya Brihaspati here intended, or are there anyone else? So by this commentary we come to know that Shukra means here Shukracharya, that is the Asura Guru, and Brihaspati is Devaguru. So these both are, and I suppose it was Namrata's question, how come Brihaspati be guru for Shukracharya, being belonging to the what you call the enemy groups. So I don't think knowledge has any such kind of kinds of groupism thing. Okay, fine. Again, it is Namaswasti Ityadina Chaturthi is again dealing with the linguistic aspect. Why it is Shukra Brihaspati Bhyam is in Chaturthi Vibhakti. Why Chaturthi Vibhakti? Because there is this Paniniya Sutra called Namaswasti Swadha Pitrubhyaha, I suppose. Through which when the word Namaha is used or Namaskara is done, for whomever you are doing the Namaskara, the word which actually depicts them should have Chaturthi Vibhakti. So this is a linguistic aspect of it. So in commentaries you find this all. So this is a typical commentary. Tatra Shukra Pranitam Aushanasam Nama Yat Sangrahatma Shukra Niti. So why is he doing Namaskara to Shukra and Brihaspati? Because there is this something work called Shukra Niti. Aushanasam is also another name of Shukracharya. Aushanas, Ushanas athava. So he Shukra Niti. Brihaspati Pranitantu Barhaspatyakhyamitad Drashtavyam. So the Artha Shastra written by Shukraniti is called Shukracharya is called Shukraniti, and the Artha Shastra written by Brihaspati Acharya is called as Barhaspatya. Okay. अतएव शास्त्रकर्तृत्वाद आचार्यत्व विवक्षया तयोर देवतात्व अविवक्षणात् देवतात्. Okay, this is all again it is not needed. It's more about the linguistic perception aspect. So we'll skip that. So now we need to understand that there is Shukracharya's Shukraniti and Brihaspatyacharyas Barhaspatyam, and these both are Purvacharyas to Chanakya, and hence they are being a Namaskara is being done to them. So these all other tikas. It's too extensive.
Such detail orientation and rigor.
Yeah, it's very, very extensive, and we cannot complete if we actually follow all that. I myself get at times after 2 or 3 pages, I myself cannot continue further. It is so heavy.
Srinivas Garu, what does it have? Like, what is it explaining these pages?
Actually, the thing is, if you actually see the Artha Shastra, actually, if you can give a good commentary to the first Adhikarana itself, I mean, the first part of Artha Shastra, because the first part is Vidya Samuddesha. That is, you have all the list of contents. So it's moreover like one second. I think it will be a bit more if I share the concept, I mean the content map that I created. That will give us a more a comprehensive understanding why it is so big, extensive. Just a second. Do you guys can actually have? Yeah, just. So if you actually see, so there are 15 adhikaranas. So these are the 15 adhikaranas. Okay, so there are 15 adhikaranas in Artha Shastra. So in this Vinayadhikarana, actually, in this Vinayadhikarana, that is this part. So what happens is all the contents, I mean, in Artha Shastra are given in the form of sutra. Okay, in the Vidya Samuddesha Prakarana, you find everything in the sutra format. And the other work, the whole other work is the commentary. So the whole work is being actually there in the kind of a sutra format in the first prakarana. Okay, so if you actually comment the first prakarana extensively, there is no need of commentary for the other prakaranas. So that is why many people just did the commentaries for the first and second parts only, not the whole work. Apart from Ganapati Shastri ji, not everyone did a comprehensive commentary for everything, the whole work, because it is not needed. Okay, and even in here, so that is why there is one thing I wish to share, that is the concept called sattva, which is expected in the society, for which actually Arthashastra is all about. What is sattva? Yeah. Sattva is vyasane abhyudaye cha avikarita. So this is what it is said. Yeah, sattvam. What is sattvam? Sattvam is dhriti. Okay, tatra sattva swarupam vyasane abhyutaye cha yad avikaram iti kamandakiya vyakhyayam uktam. So what is sattvam? It is vyasane or abhyutaye. In the times of in the bad or good times, in both the times, where a society does not actually react much, that is, in perilous situations, you don't develop something, an inferiority complex, or while you are prospering, you don't develop superiority complex. So that state of mind is called sattva. From individual to society, this is expected. This is, if this is the state of mind of a person, individual, every entity of the society and society at large, then there is no need of any shasana or administration. Everything will go accordingly. So to achieve that goal is the main prayojanam of Artha Shastra. So this is what one thing that we may take from the other commentaries until now. So we'll go to the next Moola Matram of Artha Shastra, that states the main prayojanam of yeah. So the first this thing goes like Prithivyaha labhe palane cha yavanti arthashastrani purvacharya prasthapitani prayashastani sangrihya ekamidam arthashastram kritam. So this is the first statement of opening statement of Kautilya, that is Prithivyaha labhe palane cha. In order to acquire new territories and even in order to administer the existing territories, yavanti arthashastrani purvacharya prasthapitani, whatever the Arthashastras written by the Purvacharyas, I am prayaha tani sangrihya. I am actually compiling all of those Arthashastras, and I am doing and I am writing this Ekamidam Arthashastram Kritam. So I am compile. It is just but nothing but the compilation of the essence. I mean, he's taking the essence. Why are those very much extensive? Because they may have other what we call we call it as anushangika, that is what you call allied topics also, which may not be he felt that they may not be needed in that particular time. So he just took whatever the principles, universal principles that could be applicable or universal concepts and concepts which are relatable to that point in time. I mean, that present scenario when Artha Shastra was written. So he took those issues and those topics, and again he gave, even there are other inputs that which he actually has given also. So that is what is this Artha Shastra all about. So what the commentary says, Swagranthasya nirmulatvadi shanka nirakarana purvam prakaranadhikarana samuddesham prajnapitum bhumikam rachayati. So why is he giving this? Why should he state that there are purvacharyas and I am doing a sangraha of it? Can't he boast like the the contemporary people that it is me who is giving? No, it is, I don't know anything, I haven't studied anything, it is just the yogic culture gave me, or someone gave me, kind of a thing is not done. I didn't go study any agamas, nothing else, because he wished to state that it is not a nirmulatva. Swagranthasya nirmulatvadi shanka nirakarana purvam. So he wished to state that this does has a mula or a parampara to it. Whatever knowledge I'm passing on, because if any knowledge doesn't has a purvacharya sambandha, that is, it doesn't has any relation to the existing acharyas, then it was in those days, at least in the sampradaya, it is meant that it could be your just kapola kalpana, because Swakapola Kalpana, because you as a human you are prone to mithya jnana, you are prone to avidya. So in order to state your work being authentic, you need to establish a relation with the purvacharyas and at the end with the Vedic literature. Until then, I mean, if you cannot establish a relation with the Vedic literature and the purvacharyas, your work cannot be considered to be authentic, because it may has the negative impacts or negative reflections of your avidya, and hence it cannot be a pramana or authority. So in order to get rid this nirmulatva shanka, that it does not has any parampara, so that is why prakaranadhikarana samuddesham prajnapayitum bhumikam rachayati prithivyaha. So that is why he is stating that there are purvacharyas and based on their works that I am doing this work. So hence whatever work I am doing now, it is authentic. So this is what he wants to establish. Prithivyaha means bhumehe labhe apraptayaha prapto palane labdhayaha parirakshane cha vishaye. So what is prithvi? Prithvi means bhumi. And here one another thing I wish to bring to notice, that the concept of which I recently understood, that is the concept Prithvi being a bhuta and Prithvi being earth, is two different things. Because we have the Srishti Prakriya or the creation of this cosmos in many Upanishads, like Tasmadva etasmad atmana akashas sambhutah akashad vayu vayo ragne ragne rapaha adbhyah prithvi. In Panchadashi, there is a very wonderful explanation about how these things were, how you should understand the Panchabhuta concept. So there is this Panchabhuta concept. So Panchabhutas are two types. One is called as Sukshma Bhutas and other is called as Sthula Bhutas. So Sukshma Bhutas means those Panchabhutas which you cannot perceive through your sensory organs, which is 100% in nature. Sukshma Bhuta means if you take Prithvi as a Bhuta, if it is 100%, you cannot perceive that 100% Prithvi through your sensory perception, through your sensory organs. So that is why the Panchikarana or the Trivitkarana comes in. When each and every Bhuta in the Panchabhutas undergo this Panchikarana Prakriya, then only you can actually know them. What is Panchikaranam? Again, if you take one Mahabhuta, and 50% of that Mahabhuta will be of that Bhuta. If you take, for example, Prithvi, the Panchikaranam of Prithvi will be like 50% will be Prithvi, and the other 50% will be divided into 4, and the rest of the 4 Bhutas will be there in those 4 parts. So this is called as a Panchikaranam of each and every Bhuta. So this, after this Panchikaranam only, you can actually know them. Apart from that, again, the next level is, you need to understand that first the Akasha was born. From Akasha, Vayu. From Vayu, it is Tejas. From Tejas, it is Jalam. From Jalam, it is Prithvi. So, each and every layer, again, what happens is Akasha, from Akasha, while the Vayu is actually being, when it is, created, it is only that 90% of the quantity of Akasha is Vayu. That means 10% less quantity of Vayu will be there. So hence, whilever, again, Tejas will be 10% less than Vayu. Jalam will be 10% less than Tejas. And then 10% less than Jalam is Prithvi. So this is how the creation is done. And afterwards, even this Panchikarana Prithvi is also not the Bhuloka that Bhugola we think. In this Prithvi Bhuta, again, there is something called as the Brahmandam, which is 90%, again 10% less than the Prithvi Bhuta. In this Brahmandam, there are 14 lokas, Sapta Adholoka and Shad Urdhalokas. That is Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Patala are the 7 Adholokas, and Bhur, Bhuva, Suvar, Mahar, Janas, Tapas, Tatyaloka are the Urdhalokas. So all this is called as Brahmandam, and in that one tiny part is Prithvi. That is this Bhugar, Manushaloka. So this is what you have to understand while we say Prithvi means. What is Prithvi here? It is Bhumi. The word, if you are using the Bhumi, then it means this tiny particle in the whole Brahmandam. So that is what he is actually referring to. Prithivyaha Bhumehe. Okay, Labhe. That is, Labha means what? Acquiring that which is not under your control is called Labha. Apraptayaha Prapto. And Palane. Palana means whatever you have acquired in order to Parirakshanam, administer and defend that particular territory. Prithivyaha Labhe Palane cha Yavanti Arthashastrani Kritani. So Arthashastrani. So again here comes what is Artha. Artha means Vritti. Vritti means what? Vartanam. Vartanam means Sthiti. That is, सैव हि मनुष्याणां मुख्यः अर्थः तया च मनुष्य संबंधितया तदाधारभूता भूमेः उपलक्ष्यते. So at the end, Artha means Manusyavati Bhumihi ityartha. So that is what we actually covered even in the first of this thing. Manusyavati Bhumihi. A piece of or a land which has civilization or which has people in it. That is Bhumi here. Artha means. Tasyaha labha palana upaya upadeshakani shastrani arthashastrani. So whatever the shastra which deals with this Manushyavati Bhumi in order to acquire, maintain, administer, defend, whatever these needed things are discussed, that shastram or knowledge source is called as Artha Shastra. Yavanti Purvacharyehi Shukra Brihaspati Vishalakshadi Bhihi. So Purvacharya means what? Vishalaksha. We need to again refer to that. Vishalaksha gave it to Indra, Indra to Brihaspati, Brihaspati to Shukra, and etc. So this is the parampara. So these are the Purvacharyas. Not only Shukra and Brihaspati, but there are even Purvacharyas to Shukra and Brihaspati also. They all Prasthapitani, Pravartitani. So whatever the Arthashastras were actually given by them, Dani Prayashaha iti. Why are you using the word Prayasha? Means most of them are being compiled in this Arthashastra. Why most of them? Why not everything? Because Prayashaha iti bahulyokya kvachit atmiya darshananam pratipadanam darshayati. That means he has taken them, most of them. Why most of them? Because he has even contributed his own version also. So that is why he used the word Prayasha, which is most of, right? Sangrihya. So he had compiled them. It is not as much as extent, extensive that the Purvacharyas Arthashastras were, but he made it into a very concise version of it. Ekamidam Arthashastram Kritam Ekam. Nana Shastra Viprakirana Samasta Vishayika Nidhanam. So that is what? One Artha Shastra. I am not doing many Artha Shastras. Only one which has all the needed knowledge in it. Idam Buddhistam. Idam, this Artha Shastra. Kritam Maya. So there may be a logical question here. he hasn't written Artha Shastra. How can he say that this Artha Shastra, Idam Artha Shastra means this Artha Shastra? And this is the opening verse of it, opening this thing. There is no Artha Shastra till now, which he has written. So he has his opening words are these Prithivyaha Labhe Palanecha, and he is using Idam Artha Shastram, that is this Artha Shastra. There is no Artha Shastra till now, because the Artha Shastra is actually unfolding after this opening statement. So what is the meaning of Idam? That is Buddhistham. He's having everything in his mind. So whatever he is wishing to actually explore, that content is ready with him in his mind. So in the cognitive level, so he is referring to that Artha Shastra which is there in his cognitive level. Idam Artha Shastram Kritam. You see the kind of detailing that the commentaries give you. Each and every word has a very purpose to it. You understand why even without the word idam, there could be a statement. Sangrihya Kritam Artha Shastram. Even Kritam means it is actually referring past tense, but here it is not available. Then how past tense? So they try to give you each and every meaning and the background of what was actually going around. So this detailing is there in each and every commentaries of Shastras. एतेन मदीयस्य अस्य एकस्य ग्रन्थस्य परिशीलनात् कृत्स्नपूर्वाचार्य दर्शन विज्ञानं सुखलभ्यम् इति सूचयन् स्वशास्त्रस्य समूलत्वं पूर्वाचार्य ग्रन्थैः अगतार्थत्वं च द्योतयति. So by this statement, what is he doing? He is stating that if you study my Artha Shastra, there is no need for you to study the Purvacharya's Artha Shastra, because the whole gist of the Purvacharya's Artha Shastras are covered in mine. Then there can be another question. If you are having the knowledge that is given by the Purvacharyas, then there is no need of your knowledge. That is existing knowledge by the Purvacharyas. Then no. I have also contributed something here which is not there in the Purvacharya's Artha Shastra. And even by stating that it is the concised version of the Purvacharyas, this is to be understood to be authentic. And there are some elements which are not there in the Purvacharya's Artha Shastra, and hence you have to study this. And this has a apurva prayojanam, that is a unique objective or a unique purpose by studying this. So everything is given. All the questions are answered. Anything anyone wants to discuss, we can.
All the texts in the tradition follow the same structure and same sort of this Purvacharya referencing, and then the
yes, mostly
the Shastra texts are all So if we were to abstract principles from this, so one is the prayojana. There's a strong emphasis on prayojana, strong emphasis on the tradition where I am speaking from what I've done. Strong emphasis on understanding my own cognition with all its limitations, and therefore saying that it is this one. And also what is the new prayojana of this through this work that I'm adding. 3 or 4 elements which make this up.
And he's also giving a border to it. What is the main
this is applicable in this domain. Correct.
It is not a moksha darshan.
Prayojana is specific and bounded.
So whoever wants moksha, don't study Artha Shastra. That is it. तस्यायं प्रकरण अधिकरण समुद्देशः तदिदम् अर्थशास्त्रं स अशीति संख्यैः प्रकरणैः तत्परिच्छिन्नैश्च 15 संख्याकैः अधिकरणैः विभज्य प्रस्थापितम्. So this Arthashastra is there with Sashiti Shata Sankhya. Sashiti Shata means 180. 180 prakaranas are there, and all these prakaranas are divided into 15 adhikaranas. 15 adhikarana sankhyaih adhikaranaihi vibhajya prasthapitam. Teshu yathasthanam vitatya visheshato vyutpadayishyamaneshu prathamam vishayatayah samakhyatah kramataha iyattaya cha kimapi samanya jnanam विशेष जिज्ञासा निमित्तं शिष्याणां जनयितुं तत् समुद्देशं प्रतिजानीते तस्यायमिति. So in order to have a specific query, you need a prerequisite is a general understanding. Without general understanding, there will be no specific query. So this is what is the general understanding is called as samanya jnanam, and the specific query is called as vishesha jignasa. So if you don't know how is this cosmos divided, there cannot be a question about how many dravyas are there. If you know that dravya is one of the part or one of the classifications in this cosmos, then you can have a question that how many dravyas are there. So in this way, there needs to be a samanya jnanam, and then vishesha jignasa happens. So for that, for the sake of samanya jnanam, this thing is given. Tasyayam prakarana adhikarana samuddesha. So in prakarana samuddesha, when you do the prakarana samuddesha, then you come to know what are all the contents that will be explored. Then you will have specific queries for each and everything, specific jignasa. What is this? What is this? What is this? So for that, in that way, this work is being done. So that is why you will get to know what are all the prakaranas that are being dealt. First, तस्य अर्थशास्त्रस्य अयम् आरब्धाध्याय गोचरः प्रदर्श्यमानः प्रकारः प्रकरण अधिकरण समुद्देशः प्रकरणानाम् अधिकरणानां च सर्वेषां समुद्देशः संक्षेपेण निर्देशः संक्षिप्त स्वरूप क्रमेयत्ताख्यानम् इत्यर्थः क्रियते. So that is why in order to give you a general understanding, this adhikarana, prakarana samuddesha and adhikarana samuddesha are done. So that is why the whole contents or the topics that are being that will be explored are being just their names are being uttered here. Okay, so that you will understand what are all the things that will be covered, and then you can have specific explanations for each and every topic. Prakriyante prakarshena vyutpadyante eshvarthaha iti prakaranaani. So he is giving the etymological this thing for the word prakarana. Prakarshena vyutpadyante. Prakriyante prakarshena vyutpadyante. So what is a prakarana? A prakarana is a part in which a particular topic is explained extensively. That is what is a prakarana is. And what is an adhikarana? Adhikriyante vishayikriyante eshu prakaranani ityadhikaranani. So what is an adhikarana? As an adhikarana is that part of the work which actually will just give you the names of the prakaranas. So that is why it is called as adhikarana. Yeah. So we have this prathama adhikaranam. So what is the prathama adhikaranam? It is vinayadhikaraha. So this is what is called as vinayadhikara. So we have vidya samuddesha, vruddha sanyoga, indriya jaya, amatyotpatti, mantra purohitotpatti, upadhibhi shaucha shaucha jnanam, amatyanam. So all these are the prakaranas in the first adhikarana, vinayadhikarana. So just Srimula. तत्र विनयाधिकारिकस्य प्रथमाधिकरणस्य प्रथमं प्रकरणं समुद्दिशति. विनय समुद्देशः विद्यानाम् आन्वीक्षकी त्रयी वार्ता दण्डनीतिः इत्येतासां चतसृणां समुद्देशः विद्या समुद्देशः. So what is vidya samuddesha here? So vidya means the kim anvikshaki, trayi, varta and dandaniti. These four are called as vidyas here, and that is that prakarana which actually extensively deals with these four vidyas is vidya samuddesha. Tadakhyam prakaranam ityartha. The name of the prakarana itself is vidya samuddesha. Vidya samuddesha ityetaccha sutramiti vyavahartavyam. So he is giving this now he is actually stating the methodology how Artha Shastra is written. So vidya samuddesha is sutram. So normally we have the sutra and bhashya type of dealing. So actually Artha Shastra is not straight work like sutra and bhashya, but in a very different way it is like a sutra and a bhashya. Normally what happens, there will be a sutra and you'll have a bhashya right below it, right after it. But here it is in a very different manner, where all the sutras are given first and then all the bhashyas are given. So here this one word Vidya Samuddeshaha is the sutra, and Anvikshaki Trayi Varta Cheti Vidyaha. Later on you'll have this. So that is the bhashya for this sutra called Vidya Samuddesha. So there is a different kind of a methodology is used here, which is very unique. Vistara Bahulartha Garbhatvat Sutram. Why this is to be called as sutra? Because 1 second, I'll just give the definition of a sutra. Just a second. Yeah. Sorry. Just a second. Alpaksharam asandigdham saravat vishwato mukham astobham anavadyancha sutram sutravido viduhu. So this is the definition of a sutra. So which is alpaksharam, which doesn't have many alphabets to it. Asandigdham, which doesn't actually create any doubt after studying it. Saravat, which has much information to it. If you start giving a commentary upon it, it will become very big. So it is full of meaning. Vishwato Mukham, and it covers a lot of what you call universalizing or generalizing things. And Astobham, it is very what you call non-poetic. It is very technical. Astobham. And Anavadyam, it is irrefutable. Okay, so this kind of a compound, a combination of alphabets is called as a sutra. So why Vidya Samuddesha or the word or whatever the things that are being covered can be called as sutras? Because Vidya Samuddesha can be a sutra because it has a much commentary needed in order to understand the actual intent of the word called Vidya Samuddesha. So that is why this has all the ingredients, or it does fit to the definition of sutra, and hence it can be called a sutra. Why we have to understand is because Kautilya himself did not say that this is a sutra. So this is the commentary given by the commentator. So he is actually supporting why this can be called as a sutra, because it has all the ingredients of a sutra. Then hence this can be called as a sutra. सूत्रमेव चेदं तत् प्रकरणे आन्वीक्षकी त्रयी वार्ता दण्डनीतिश्चेत विद्याः इत्युपक्रम्य स्वधर्मकर्माभिरतो वर्तते स्वेषु वेश्मसु इत्यन्तैः त्रिभिरध्यायैः महता प्रयत्नेन प्रपञ्च्यते इति सूत्रस्य तथाविधं व्याख्यानं भाष्यं भवितुमर्हति. So why can this be called a sutra? He is giving an explanation. Further, starting with the sentence Anvikshaki Trayi Varta Dandanitischeti Vidyaha until the sentence called Swadharma Karma Virato Vartate Sveshu Veshmasu. So this is a content of 3 adhyayas further. So he is just giving an explanation for the word Vidya Samuddesha this extensively. He himself is giving an explanation, or Chanakya himself is giving a very extensive explanation for the word just Vidya Samuddesha. So this fits actually. So that means the intention or the intention can be actually written in 3 adhyayas, and if that can be expressed in which such a concise expression, then why can't you call it as a sutra? So hence this is the sutra, and that is the bhashya for this sutra. This is how you have to understand the work. Evam prakarana adhikarana samuddeshaha इत्युक्तं इत्युक्तचरम् उत्तराण्यपि वृद्धसंयोगः इत्यादीनि सूत्राणि भवन्ति तत्तत् प्रकरणगतानि प्रपञ्चवाक्यानि च भाष्याणि भवन्ति. So each and everything here, वृद्धसंयोग is a sutram, indriyajayah is a sutram. If you go to the indriyajaya prakarana, you find the whole explanation for it. So that is the bhashyam for the sutra called indriyajaya. So this is how you have to understand this work. एवं अधिकरणेषु सर्वेषु एवञ्च स्वयमेव विष्णुगुप्तः चकारसूत्रञ्च भाष्यञ्च इति ग्रन्थोक्तिः उपपन्ना भवति इति वेदितव्यः. So this is the last words of Vishnugupta, saying that स्वयमेव विष्णुगुप्तश्चकार सूत्रञ्च भाष्यञ्च. So he himself has done, Vishnugupta himself has done sutra and bhashya. So this ukti or this statement will also support this kind of understanding of how to understand this work. Okay, so I think I'll stop here. From the next this thing we'll have the why each and every prakarana is in the way, I mean the krama that they are in. Why Vidya Samuddesha and then Vruddha Sanyoga and then Indriya Jaya. So each and everything will be also covered in the next session. Is there anything else to discuss? We can.
Sir, we had discussed in the first session about the core purpose of Artha Shastra, which is the training of the Palaka, the king. Right? So as we go through this, how do we keep coming back to that insight about the Prayojana?
Yeah. So that is what you actually will know once you start reading why Vidya Samuddesha is first, why Indriya Jaya is next, why Vruddha Sanyoga is needed. So each and everything will actually address the main cause.
So we need to constantly remember that these are not disparate. This is in this sequence, and
if we cannot establish a relation with that base question, then it is of no use.
Okay, yeah, thank you, sir.
No, Maud, I just wanted to share, like, in a way, he has also, like, told about the Tatparya Linga of the whole thing. He has told that what is new, what is being repeated again and again. And I also wanted to point out how, like, even in some of the other sutras, they are saying first they will name what all are the elements, and then, so then almost all sutras are like that, right? Like, they will first name and then they will go into each so sutram. And
just the difference is that normally the sutra is followed by bhashya.
Correct.
But here it is that they are giving the sutras first and the bhashya next. All together, not altogether
in this one.
Yeah.
And
so it is your duty to actually again refer them. So this is the sutra. Oh, okay, this is the bhashya, kind of a thing.
Right. So that's what you were telling about the Atidesha Nyayam.
Atidesha doesn't come here.
Not here.
Atidesha is that thing. It is more like it is more like a, how do you do this repairing with spare parts? You remove one spare part and needed you bring in something, or you have this add-ons, right? If you want to increase your RAM capacity, you bring in another RAM and put it. You don't change a whole motherboard, right?
Correct.
So Atidesha is something. Or if you are having unused CPU, you remove that RAM and put it here. So you just what you need from the other thing and just add it here.
Okay.
So that is Atidesha.
Okay. And I was not able to follow that one part, Maudya, where you're saying you took us through the Panchikaranam process, and therefore this Bhumi, you are saying, I was not able to make complete sense of that part. If you could just repeat.
So what I meant was the concept of Prithvi as one among the Panchabhutas is different. It is very large.
Right.
That is very macro level. The concept of Bhugola or earth or territory is more micro.
Okay.
I mean,
It's
don't confuse. We have to not confuse with the
with
Bhuloka
that.
being the Prithvi Bhuta. Prithvi
Okay.
Bhuta is very much bigger concept than Bhuloka. And even in Bhuloka, Bhumi or territory which you actually administer is very much small.
Very lesser.
So
Right.
if you come from that, from Adhyatma Vidya, you can understand how tiny this thing is.
Right. Got that.
And even the Brahmanda, the concept of Brahmanda is part of Prithvi Bhuta. So that
Understood.
is what I mean. We have to not, in order to just normally what happens is Prithvi Bhuta means we take it granted for the earth.
Got
It
it.
is not like that.
Got it.
That's what I wanted to make a difference.
ठीक है. Got it.
Okay, then I think we'll stop here. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः.